trail today near Gladwin, Michigan. Robert's riding with me today. We're gonna kind of go around. I'm sure we're gonna splash some puddles. We've had some good rain lately. So today we're gonna kind of talk about what we were talking about today in service, and that's time. And you know, the thing is, with time, it is a very precious commodity, and that we get a lot of teaching on our money and being a good steward of our money and using it appropriately, but so many times we don't get that same teaching on doing the same thing with our time. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to read a scripture out of Ephesians.
Redeem the time because the days are evil. This is Ephesians 5, chapter 5, verse 16 and 17. Therefore, be not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. So, in this day, in this time, we know there's a lot of things going on. We know there's a lot of chaos. But the scripture says for us to redeem the time. And so, what we need to do and we need to understand is that we have to really pay close attention to how we spend our time. And one of the things I want to make sure is right up front, when it comes to our time, we need to make sure that we are understanding really the priority for what our time's supposed to be. And, you know, our priorities are supposed to be God, family, and church. And I know to some that seems a little odd that church is in third place, because church should be so very integral with our walk with God. But church can be an activity, not necessarily always a relational thing. And so it's important that we, of course, that God is priority number one, but that family is a priority as well. Because what can happen is, if our family isn't a priority, if we put church ahead of family, I am a person who, if I can be at church, I'm going to be there. But the whole thing is, if I exemplify that to my family and like, all right, church is open, we're going to church, I need to make sure that how I am at any other point in time, how I am with my family, how I am at home, and the time I give to them, that they understand that they are just as important to me as my church attendance is, even more so. And so we have to have that example at home. Because here's the thing, only thing I'm doing is always dragging my family to church, and I don't spend time with them, I don't put their needs as important in my life, they can actually become bitter towards the church, because they could actually look at it as, Dad sees church as more important than me. That could be my kids, that could be my spouse. And so making sure we give that time, that we surrender that time to them, and we give that time to them. So that way, when we're trying to lead our family saying, hey, it's time for church, they're like, all right, great. It's something that they look forward to, not dread. And so that's one of the things I wanted to make mention of with that. As you can tell, we're going down some definitely washboard roads here. All this rain has kind of helped wash this out a little worse than it was. So that's one area. another area when it comes to our time, as you can see, we're off in the trails. My spouse is at home along with my son, and but before coming out here, I made sure this didn't conflict. I made sure that this is something that wasn't going to cause any undue inconvenience for my wife, because it's important that she knows that I enjoy getting out of doors. I enjoy getting out, hitting the trails. I enjoy being in the woods and just enjoying all of this. So if you're a guy, please don't ever ignore your wife and just make plans without taking her into effect, because the simple fact about it is, me saying let me check with my wife simply means let me check with my wife. Hopefully y'all can see the turkeys up there crossing the road. It means I'm interested in doing this, but I'm not going to put it in front of my family. I'm not going to put it before what's going on in my house, because they're a priority. I'm also not going to put just activities over my commitment to the Lord as well. And so it's just important that we understand those priorities. We understand that, we need to have that commitment. And, wives, same goes. Don't make your plans without, checking in with your husband. Whatever it might be, when we make each other a priority, it removes a lot of conflict.
I think one of the main reasons was when Pastor asked me to go out with him today, I said, well, maybe let me check with my wife. And as Pastor was saying, that's not a cop-out saying, well, I'm the man of the house, I need to make these decisions. No. That's me putting my wife's needs, whatever that might be, or the house needs, in front of something that I want to do. And when she says, hey, it's okay with me, that's what it means. Now, when she says, well, whatever, that means something different, and that's a lesson for another time. But check with your spouses, because it's important. One is safety, obviously, but it's also just respect. It's utter respect. Hey, honey, is that all right? Do we have plans? Are you okay with this? And if she would have said, no, I want to do this, I'd have stayed home, because that's the respect I have for my wife, and she is my second priority, God being number one.
Yeah. And so it's all about having, you're never going to have perfect balance with everything, but it is important that we try to have some balance, that we try to have our priorities in line. And also, we can't just look at this as God Family Church. Remember, you really can't separate God from church. Not if it's really a part of your life, because church is integral to our growth, to moving forward, for the strength we need sometimes, and all of the things that it offers. And so it's important that we don't also put our family ahead of God. Well, I got to make sure my family. Okay, that's fine. But also, God can't be an afterthought. God can't be like, well, I'll see if I can squeeze you in. I got too much stuff going on with my family. Vacations are needed. Time down is needed. But also, getting strength from the Lord is needed as well. And we have to make sure that we keep those priorities in line, that we do the things that we need to do to not only have a strong family, but our strong relationship and walk with the Lord.
And Pastor said this so many times, that if you love God the way that you should, you will you will love your family. You will love your church family the way that you should. Everything will line up. Now, it doesn't mean your life is perfect, but you will have peace in those storms. And your family's always there for you when those things come up. But when they get out, unhinged somewhere, or things go sideways and we don't put God first, then you could have some issues. I do have
Chat for a second while I gotta go do a little trail maintenance while we're out here.
Yes, he is. But the message of time is we don't have a lot of it. I mean, to be honest, we don't. And the time that we do have, yes, God is a priority. He's our number one. But our family is right there. Our family is right there. Then our church family. God has to be that priority. And when He is, everything else has fallen into place. I learned that the hard way. And I hope that and I pray that God continues to work, because I am nowhere near where I should be.
Yeah. And I think what we need to realize in that, yes, why is our family such a priority? Well, no, because we're called to go out and reach the lost. We're called to minister. Yes, we are. We are very much so. But God has also called us that our family is our number one ministry. And I can't give something to somebody else that I'm not willing to give to my own family.
Amen.
And so it's really important that we do that. We keep those sort of priorities. Yes, don't forsake going to church. It's you need it for your growth. Bible study is going to help you. If there's special services, those things are going to give you strength and direction. But the simple fact is that you need to have that being exemplified at home. We need to show it in our prayer life, with our Bible reading and devotion time with our family. All of those things are what lead us to be able to be effective in the church.
Mm-hmm.
To, not having our family despise the church, but rather embrace and get excited about the church, because they know, when mom or dad go to church, they come back and they love me even more. They make me even more of a priority. And so these are the things that are so important in teaching our kids, hey, God is important. And you know what? You are important. Because don't forget, our kids, our wife, they're also people Jesus died for.
They are children of God. Yes.
And it's very important that we never forget that, because God don't like it when you don't treat His kids right. So, hopefully there's some encouragement. Would love to hear any comments or anything you'd like to add to it. But, use your time wisely. Redeem the time. Use it and let God use you. And let's do our best to keep our priorities straight. Enjoy the fun times. Enjoy the vacations. But also, enjoy your family.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy your church family. And most importantly of all, spend time with the Lord. Prayer, in His Word, devotions. These things all help us to grow and become everything He wants for us. We'll probably have some more trail videos going on, but again, if you like what you're hearing, like, share, love to have your comments as well. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.